It's tomorrow. It's time to clean this up and buff this puppy out. So I'm going to, this is soapy water. I've got my 800, 1200, 1500, 2000, and 3000 grit sandpaper right there. Let me make sure this is focusing where it's supposed to be focusing. This is the area here. This really laid out nice and flat. You got the frost around the edges from the overspray. That should be pretty easy to take out. This is soapy water. I'm going to thoroughly clean a wide area around this because when I get to cut and buff, I don't want any dirt that might still be on this car get hung up in the buffing pad. The first pass will be with the wool pad with cutting compound in it. And after that, we'll go to the polishing compound. You can hear that. Okay. Let's dry that off. Okay. First, I'm going to use 800. I got to go get the soft block. I'm using a soft block, not a hard block on this. I hope it's right. This is a DuraBlock sanding block. It's soft, it's flexible. Okay, this is 800. I'm just going to go over this very, very lightly. The reason I'm using a soft block on this is this door has a curve this way. I don't think a hard block would be what I should use on it. That's why you don't assume anything. You go back and clean it, dry it, and check it. There's a little bit of a shiny line right here between the original finish and where the repair was. I think we're ready to go to 1200. This is 1200. That feels perfectly smooth. I can barely see right there where that scratch repair was. I think I'm going to be right. I think that spot's going to be just a little bit more yellow, a little bit darker than the original finish. If you didn't know it was there, you'd never see it. Okay. Let's now go to 1500. I see a little mark right there. I think that's a cat hair from Darwin that got in there when this car was first clear coated. Okay, so now we're ready for 2000. This is 2000. Get this to roll back out. I can see the scratch repair just faintly right there. Here's one edge of the repair. Here's the other edge of the repair. I don't see it on the bottom. But now we're going to 3000. And 3000 is on a hard block, a harder block. It's still real flexible, but it's a little harder than that other one. I can see a little bit of the outline right here. Tell you what, I think I'm going to stop here and buff it and see what it looks like after that. I've got a dual action forced rotation buffer I bought from Harbor Freight just to do this car. I tried to look at all of the different styles of buffing and cutting and all that stuff. Everybody says use DA sander. I've used a DA where, they go this way, they go this way, and they rotate. The DA sanders I've had before with the rotation, the buffer polishers, DA buffer polishers, seem to have a clutch on the rotation. So if you're against something, the rotation will stop and all you get is the side-to-side motion. I seem to have always gotten better results out of full rotation. Maybe it's just because I'm an amateur, but that's the direction I'm going to go. I'm going to get some rubbing compound and the DA sander with a wool pad on it. This is the DA sander or the forced rotation that I used. And I've gotten real good results out of this thing. One of the things I really like about it, it has a really long cord on it. A lot of these things you have to use an extension cord. This one's, I don't know, this thing's got like a 12-foot cord on it, maybe more than that. I'm not sure how long this thing is. But it's plenty long enough. I can find a outlet this thing will plug into. There we go. Okay. I'm using McGuire's Ultimate Compound. I've had good luck out of this. Of course, I just shot myself with it, but that's okay. Okay. Let's see where we are. The demarcation lines between the old and the new have totally disappeared, except for one little spot right in here. So we're going to hit that. You just almost can't see it until I get it in exactly the right light. But everything else has disappeared. And I can't see the paint blotch where the paint was repaired. Oh, I can, just a tid right there. I can see it, just a smidge. Okay, let's hit that. See if we can get that to completely buff out. Let's see, where is it? Oh, it's right there. Okay. That's the only way I can see it. I can still see just a ghost right there. You watch some of these guys who are real experienced at doing this, they say buff, buff, buff until you think you're done, and then buff some more. And when you can't buff anymore, buff a little bit more. That is completely gone now. That is a slick finish right there. No evidence whatsoever that anything ever happened. Let's go take a real careful look at this. I need a light, don't I? Let me go get a light. Right in there's where that ghosting was. I don't see anything there anymore. And there's my cat hair. Where? Right there. I'm not going to do the foam on that. To let that sit for a couple of 3 days and come back and do the foam on it after that. But until that, I think I'm pretty much done with this repair and this boo-boo. This was a fun and a neat little project. Sprayed my glasses. If you didn't know if that scratch was in this paint, you'd never see it. I know it's there. I know generally where I can't see it from here, but this is a fun little project, and it gave me a really good excuse to go buy me a trigger airbrush with a fan pattern on it. I bought the fan pattern because it mimicked what I'm used to, which is using the HTE and HVLP Harbor Freight Black Widow spray guns, which I painted this whole car all the way from the bare metal up to finishing the thing out with Harbor Freight equipment, except for this little repair here. This is that Mobius, it's a Gaahleri Mobius TG spray gun. And it did a really good job. I probably could have done a better job and not have to buff quite as hard if I were better at using an airbrush, but that's the first time I'd ever used that airbrush. The first time I'd ever loaded paint in it. And it came out pretty well. I'm quite happy with it. Anyway, that's going to wrap this project up. I get to start driving this car again and not have that scar in the middle of it that I created when I rebuilt that air compressor. You guys appreciate your watching. Have a wonderful life.